Yeah, hello scrappers. I got my burner tore apart here. Thought about putting it together a little bit differently, but this is pretty much how I have it set up right now. This is just a piece of old tailpipe, and you see I have my two holes here for both of my pieces coming up. This is the oil inlet. Now on my affiliate link, I have the burner tip, and then I think I have this adapter piece that the siphon nozzle fits into. You got your, then you have to go to Home Depot or some hardware store and buy your pieces. I'm not exactly sure what size this is, but I think everything else is 1/4 inch. I tried to keep it all brass inside the burner, but really all the heat stays to the front. And then I come back here and I tee off. And this is the propane inlet, and then this comes up, another tee, and for my gauge. And then I come back to a needle valve for my air, compressed air. But what I'm really thinking about doing is to bypass this piece, and let's see, I think I need 9/16, I think, yep. And bypass that piece, and then I'll have this down in there. And as you can see, if I line this up with the hole, this will stick out the back of the burner just a little bit. I'll pull that nipple out of there, and then this will all fit on there. So basically then this tube will be coming straight out of the back. And then what I thought about doing is running 4 screws, and then once this is coming out the back, run a wire across here, across there, come back across here, and then from top to bottom to where it'll hold that centered and still allow air to travel pretty well unrestricted. Now I've had people ask how far I set this nozzle. I got the nozzle lined up with the hole right here. They ask how far I set that in, and right now I'm set in about 6 1/4 inches in, but I'm not sure how well the camera can pick this up. But maybe it's right there. I got good light on it, I think. You can see down in here. Oh, trying to get an angle where I got the light hitting it properly, and it's not really working. But get in there a little ways, and you can see a little buildup, especially right down here on the bottom. And that buildup right there is roughly about 5 inches in. So I'm thinking about cutting about 3 inches off of this thing, because what's happening, this tip, it makes the oil and everything flare out. So what it's doing, it's flaring out about 1 inch past this tip. So I'm thinking all you really need is maybe 2 inches, 2 inches ahead of the nozzle, the siphon nozzle. I have to try to get on the end here, or find another coupling. Then what I'm thinking on this part is have it floating back here with the wires, and then on this part I'll put a hose clamp where the gravity should hold it down, and I'll adjust it about center. If that doesn't work, I'll try to get in there with an extension and socket to kind of hold it up, and then I'll clean everything up good with acetone and put some JB Weld on it, and that should hold it pretty secure. But what I was having issues with this part here kind of getting loose, and it was kind of moving around, and I'm thinking, okay, if it's loose kind of here, that's going to affect the siphon some. So I thought, well, if I come straight out the back with the air, then it won't be twisting, or if I need to tighten it up, I can tighten it up, and all it's going to do is change the way everything else is sitting back here for the propane and the air, and the gauge. But I can always turn the whole burner because this just slides inside the other pipe. So I'm going to go ahead and get this off of here and kind of get that set up. Here's the back side of what the adapter looks like. Got 4 little holes there for the air to travel through. So I'll get back when I got a little more of that done. Okay, I'm back. Cut 3 inches off the end. Here's the piece I cut off. You can kind of see the buildup in there. So, and the buildup I was talking about, I think you can probably see it better now. You can see that definite line as the flame is being spread out. The oil is being spread out, and it kind of accumulates. So that should still work because we're a good inch or so in there. And what I did, I put 4 self-tapping screws in there where I can wrap the wire around. This hole here probably won't affect anything because mainly working off the compressed air. That'd be just pretty much another air inlet, so it probably won't hurt a thing. We'll find out. But so now I'll probably take this over to the vise where I can clamp down on it, and what size wrench? 3/4 inch. So I'll be right back. Trying to keep this tripod and camera real close to me so that you guys can pretty well see what I'm seeing, not have it upside down or anything. So I put this in the vise. If I need to deburr that just a hair, yeah, it's not going to matter too much. It's going to be inside. But now what we need to do is kind of go in with that, line up the hole with this little hole, drop that down in there. Yeah, it's not screwing in yet. I may have to kind of lift this up a little bit to get it to square up. Yeah, we're getting tight now. So now I'm going to put the vice grips on this. Well, instead of that, I was going to use vice grips, but I thought, nah, I don't want to do that. And I probably don't have a 1/2 inch here. I got a 9/16, which is too big. So let me grab a 1/2 inch. Don't need those. Okay, had one on the workbench. So I'm just going to tighten up this coupling, and that should tighten up the tube. So much better than having to put a I'm not sure how tight that is, but it's pretty tight. I pretty well want this either coming off to the side a little bit, or it could come straight back. Now it doesn't really matter. That's where my oil inlet's going to be. So as you can see, that'll go all the way to the bottom. So like I say, I want to put a hose clamp on there to bring that up about halfway to center it. Right now I'm going to put this in the vise over there and try to wrap some, maybe get me a piece of copper wire, wrap it around the screws and around that to hold it straight out. So okay, we'll see how this is going to work. I was originally thinking about putting a thin piece of metal across here and that way and tack weld them on. And I thought, shoot, that'd block my airflow. I'm going to leave a little extra wire here. I guess about where I want it. I go around that screw. Yeah. Not sure if that's going to work or not. I guess I can bend the wire a little bit too to bend that down like that. Bring this one around. See if I can squeeze it in a little bit. And then like this I can squeeze. Squeeze them in like that, and squeeze it in like this. Try to bring it a little bit smaller than the diameter of the pipe. And then I can just kind of wiggle it where I need it. And that holds it pretty secure right there. So now I need to center this end. So get my little hose clamp. I think some of the slots are a little bit messed up on this one. I probably should have taken this top valve off where I could get right in there. Drop it over the top. Get them. Trying to open it up. Like I said, if I have a lot of trouble with this, I'll just take the hose clamp off, try to set it in place good, and then use some JB weld. We're just about there. That looks pretty center. So it'll sit down there nicely, but the problem is it's going to wobble back and forth, so I may have to JB weld it or figure out a way to keep it from turning so much. And I need to cut this excess wire off. Okay, now I need, since we got our propane line coming in here, I'm going to run some yellow Teflon tape on there. And then I'll run some right here. At least I'll try to. I'll try to see if I can't reposition this just a little bit. Maybe get a little better view. Because I'm kind of focusing on what I'm doing and not so much on the camera monitor. That still has a lot of play in it, so make sure it's not over the hole at all. Not sure exactly how I want to have that pointed. It's bigger than okay, that's bigger than 5/8. Yeah. Try to finish, kind of run it parallel. Like that. And then I'll go ahead and tighten this up. Run that kind of straight up and down, so on off. And then I got the gauge. I'll go ahead and just use the same tape here for, since I've got it handy. I didn't grab any from the other room. I should have. Trying to hold it with my big fat fingers and trying to get around it, and fingers are in the way. So it's pretty much back together. It's just I designed it out a little bit differently. I guess I may angle this back a little more, but we'll see how that works. So we'll finish putting it together and I'll try it out. Beautiful day. Today's January 1st, 2023, and beautiful sunny day. It's about 65 degrees. Yeah, here in Oklahoma. If you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, just wait 5 minutes, it'll change. Okay, we'll get this set up outside and get the propane line hooked up and get some waste oil out there, get the compressor turned on and everything. We'll see how she does. Okay, I turned the camera back on. I don't know if it said recovering data, so I don't know where it kicked off. But we got our wire on there to hold that center, but we still got a lot of slop. Even though this can push that down, we got a lot of the weight there is pushing it up. So I could probably try to devise something to go down through that hole to hold it in, and try to tack weld it on. I might try something like that, I don't know. And we got our gas line, air inlet. Like I said, I cut it a little shorter, and by doing that configuration I ended up with a little bit of brass left over. Short nipple, long nipple, and two elbows, two 90-degree elbows. So we'll get it out there and we'll get it all hooked up and set up, and we'll see what we got. Okay, I got it all kind of put together. Got the pot cleaned out, holes clean. There's still, you know, some loose stuff in there, but for the most part, got the bulk out. Found a little piece of metal here that was bent at a 90, so I cut it down to 3/4 inches wide and cut kind of a V in it to where it kind of holds that tube in a V, so it pretty well made it pretty solid. So should hold it in there good. I don't know why we got saying about 5 pounds of air on the gauge. Must be just stuck oil or something in there. But so that thing's pretty much all the way in the tube. So we'll see if it puts out a better flame. And you can see if you can see it there, it's not. Let's see. Looks like the tube's just a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch in, something like that. So we'll get us something here to melt. There's a nice manifold with a carburetor on it. I don't see too much. A little bit of metal and plastic. Not real bad. Yeah, probably need 2 hands, so I'll go ahead and put this in the tripod.